Welcome to Lumia Lab Live, the Internet's orthostatic research lab, and I'm your host, Daniel, and we have two very special guests, and we're actually calling in straight from the Autonomic International Conference. We just found the corner in the hotel lobby here. We got the conference going on behind us, and we have both Clayton and Emily, who are actually going to be leading Autonomic International's rehabilitation training continuing education program. I'll let them introduce themselves actually. So.
I'm Clayton. I'm Clayton Powers. I work at the University of Utah and with Bateman Horn Center in Salt Lake City and helping people with POTS and orthostatic issues.
And I'm Emily Rich. I'm an occupational therapist from Tucson, Arizona, and I get to work with patients and do research in POTS and EDS and related conditions.
Today's topic is compression, and they're going to explain some of the basic principles of compression, and then we're going to do a study together. But we have a few different images prepared, so take it away, Clayton.
Yeah. So normally when you're lying down, your body has a pretty easy time getting blood back to your heart. It doesn't have to work super hard. But when you stand up, a lot of that blood, due to gravity, goes to the lower half of your body. And so then your body has to compensate for that. It sends messages and other things to squeeze the blood vessels in the legs and the abdomen to try to get that blood back to the heart. But with dysautonomia and other health challenges, what can happen is that those signals aren't sent, or those blood vessels in the lower legs are too stretchy, or there's been nerve damage. Heat can also keep those blood vessels open, autoimmune conditions, hormonal changes, a lot of things, and even medication. Certain medications can also cause those blood vessels to stay open. So sometimes it's really helpful to have external compression on the legs or the abdomen that helps to compensate when your body's not compensating. So it can squeeze your blood vessels and push that blood back to the heart. And so you might ask, well, where should I put that compression? Where's the best or most optimal areas to do that? And there's actually research looking into that. Emily, do you want to share some of that?
Oh, I'd love to. I love talking about this research out of Canada. And what they did is they put on these compression devices to segmentally understand, if I just wear compression socks, for example, how much benefit do I get? And they saw you get some benefit. And that's what most people wear, is compression socks. Then they put on a full leg compression from the ankle or the foot up to the pelvis, and they found even more benefit. And then they found the most benefit if you wear up to your waist high, plus adding an abdominal binder. And so this idea of from your leg or foot all the way up to the abdomen, where actually the most cooling happens is in that core trunk area, that had the biggest benefit. About 17 beats per minute, that the heart rate didn't have to go up quite as high that much. So yeah, just huge effects, and they actually found that just the abdominal binder by itself was the second best that there could be. So kind of that good, better, best. It's not that the socks aren't good, it's just that we can do even better than that.
Yeah, and in the real world it can be kind of tricky, because in the real world there's issues like overheating. I hear that a lot. People will say, oh, I can't wear it in the summer, or if I get overheated from an abdominal binder, I have to take it off. So that's a big issue. Do you have any tips or anything for that?
Yeah, I'm an OT, so this is my world. It's practical tips. And I live in the literal desert in southern Arizona. It's like 100 triple digits right now. So for heat, that's a huge factor. And Clayton and I were talking before, we definitely both have patients who just don't wear compression in the summer. And sometimes that benefit, the risk-benefit ratio of the overheating is worse than the benefit they get from the compression. But many times I also have patients who wear just abdominal compression, like an abdominal binder, and then they just take it off when they go into the heat, but then they get into an air-conditioned environment and they put it back on. Similarly, I have students who will wear, socks or leggings when they are in school, for example, and then when they're commuting or they're riding their bike on college campus or something, they'll just take those off and have just regular shorts on. So that's one way to get around it.
A lot of it is really trial and error, because there are so many types of compression, so many different brands out there. So it's hard to recommend anything very specific just because there's so much out there. So often trying to make sure that there's a good return policy.
Trying them on in stores is great if you have a mall near you, you know, still going into stores or Target or Dillard's, those kinds of options can be good if you can't buy those things online and not want to return them.
When you actually search on Amazon or other places, what can be challenging is it may say compression and it's not compressive at all. I've bought compression shorts that weren't doing anything. And so you have to make sure that they actually list the pressures and otherwise it can be junk.
And that's actually what we're going to explore later today, is even some that are rated at 20 to 30 or 30 to 40, that was on a specific body, but on a different body it might actually be quite different. And so we're actually going to be testing that in today's experiment. We actually have a video of Bobby. Bobby is our engineers just had a field day and built a little doll where the blue balloon there is actually a simulated heart, and we have that heart pumping at about 60 beats per minute. Now, you can see that the heart is quite wrinkly when it's being pumped because as Bobby's standing, the blood is pooling very visibly in those blue legs. But now if we can apply compression, so we got these cute little compression garments that we are wrapping around the legs there, and we can see that as we apply those compression garments, the heart is getting filled with more blood quite a bit more quickly. And what you'll see as we finish putting on those compression garments is once we start finally beating that heart at that same rate, each time we do that compression, or each time we beat, the heart is now being fully filled with blood. And so that's what compression is doing. It's squeezing, it's combating gravity, and getting that blood back up to the heart. Study design we'll be doing today, we actually have a couple of different cohorts here. So here at the Dysautonomia International Conference, we'll be hosting an ideal compression cohort. So these are people that we actually have a very special compression garment suit. We're placing across the calf, lower thigh, upper thigh, the glutes, and the abdomen area, and we're going to apply perfect compression. This is pneumatically controlled, so we're actually measuring exactly, are we actually getting to 30 mmHg or 40 mmHg? Anyone at the conference can come up at our booth. We'll be doing this study all weekend long, so hopefully we can get 10, 15 people in the ideal compression cohort. And then at home, for the second cohort, this is for all y'all at home. If you could go to the next slide. You won't at home have the suit that we have Emily getting into now. So we'll just have whatever compression you have. You can start off either compression on or compression off. Whatever, if you had your compression on, then start compression on. You want to lay down for 2 minutes. Then you're going to stand up for 3 minutes with your compression on, if you had your compression on. And then at the end of the 3 minutes, you're going to then take some time, about 2 minutes, to remove that compression. Then lay down for another 2 minutes so your heart can recover. And then we're going to have you stand up for 3 minutes without your compression. So now you can see when you have compression on versus when you have compression off, what's the difference. Now if you didn't have the compression on to start, you can start the inverse. So you can start with compression off. So 2 minutes laying down with compression off, then standing for 3 minutes with compression off, then putting on compression for 2 minutes, and then with your compression on, you can be laying down for 2 minutes, then stand up for 3 minutes with compression on, and then lay down. So that will be shared. It's a little confusing. You can just watch for now in the ideal compression, but that will be posted, and you can follow along and contribute. You can share what compression garments you're using even, and there will be a link that you can consent into the study, and then you can then submit your data anonymized. You can also share that in the Reddit post as well, if you want to share publicly some of your results. And so that is the protocol. It's a bit long, and so Emily, if you would please come on in, and we'll actually move. So Emily's rocking it. She's both educator and model, and
this is the best setup for compression.
yeah. So
recommend this all the time. Just go out to the grocery store wearing this.
Okay, so Emily, if you don't mind actually going ahead and having a seat, and let's just get comfortable here. After Emily stands for 3 minutes, then we're going to increase the compression to increase the blood flow back to our heart. So we're going to fill her heart up, and we should be able to see her flow increase. And then, after her flow increases, then we'll slowly decrease it to a light compression, and then turn off the compression again, and then have her lay back down. But you'll be able to see the effects of the flow go up and down from the compression. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and stand up. Got a lot going on.
How you feeling?
I feel all right.
Yeah, not too bad.
I feel okay. Yeah.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
We don't want you fainting, Emily, so.
No, I'm definitely not gonna faint. I feel okay.
Alright, so you wanna just, so we
I feel like I
wanna,
always do when I stand up.
A little lightheaded or?
A little bit lightheaded, yeah. Those lights were intense as I was laying down. I was noticing, so I don't know if that was part of my heart rate when I was laying.
so what we wanna actually have you do is make sure you're no calf muscle pump, because that can actually increase the blood flow, and we wanna just have you relax. Because actually when you relax and you're very stationary, that's actually the worst. But for the purpose of the demo, you don't normally want to don't do this at home. Actually, if you're participating, you can.
It's hard for me because it's so automatic that I do those things.
To tighten your calves.
For sure.
Or your abdomen.
Yeah.
So you want to be relaxed.
And I start doing my breathing, and I'm just gonna try and be a normal.
Yeah, we're trying to not do the countermeasures for the purpose of showing a bigger flow drop. So we'll just have you relax. And we are at a minute and a half. We're going to go for 3 minutes. But the more relaxed you are, that actually has the flow. And still you are, the pooling can happen more. So
Yeah, my pooling is not happening apparently, so you're,
no, it's starting to happen. I'm seeing it.
my body's performing. You're welcome to just come on by.
We're at the conference live.
Woo!
So can we go ahead and start pumping? So we're going to now pump to max compression. And so what's happening here is we're actually starting at a higher compression on the bottom. So we're doing 50 mmHg on the calves, then 45 on the lower thigh, then 40 on the upper thigh, 35 on the glutes, and then 30 on the abdomen. So what we should see is we're going to start to see a bit of a flow increase as the blood that was now starting to get stuck in the legs is going to start to get pushed back up towards our heart. So that's what we'll see as we pump. And we got our lovely Dan and Milena working hard here.
They are working so hard. I'm very impressed. Yeah, you go for it. Go for it.
All right. So they continue to pump, and we're starting to see some of that. But let's see if it sustains, and it should continue to start to get higher. And so we'll see how much of a flow increase do we have in Emily from compression.
Feels so good.
Does it already?
Even like the body awareness, proprioceptive feedback, like it just feels really good to have that. You all are gonna get some good hand strength this weekend.
They're getting forearm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I would be tired already.
And typically the compression is graded, so it's the pressure at your feet. A lot of the blood is at the lower half of the body, so the pressure is higher, and so that's why the blood pressure cuffs are a lot tighter at the bottom, and a lot of compression socks do that. They're tighter at the bottom, and then as you go up, they're less tight.
Touched it.
All right. So we have. Wow. So your flow is looking almost like you're laying down. But let's let that go for a little longer. We have. Okay,
This is your new outfit.
Apparently, I love it.
That pumping was about 2 minutes, and so we have another 2 minutes of standing.
For the audience at home, I'm working really hard not to do counter pressure maneuvers, not to rock forward or back, even though that's what my body wants to do. So I'm trying to stay exactly like I was before.
We have another minute to go.
Okay.
And then after the minute, we're gonna lower you to pretty light compression.
Okay.
And then we're gonna go down to no compression again.
Okay.
And then that'll be another 2 minutes, and then we'll have you lay back down.
Great.
And that is the study.
Okay.
So flow sustained higher.
I can still tell that there's pooling in my feet.
We don't have compression on your feet.
Yep,
so.
exactly. Yep. But even still, it's helpful, right? And I think that's helpful for people at home too, practically speaking.
Yep.
That like some people really don't like their toes to be covered, or they want to be able to wear sandals when it's hot. And Clayton and I were talking about like, calf sleeves, or even there's toeless compression is still beneficial. You just might feel some of that pooling in your feet. But
Yeah, and those are easier to put on.
yes,
So
for
much
sure.
easier.
For hypermobile fingers.
Yeah.
Go ahead and reduce to the light compression, and so we're going to start to decompress you. We have reduced to light compression, but we're going to go ahead and reduce to zero compression now. So this is just gradually reducing and removing all the compression.
No.
So Fortunately, yeah, you're not too low on the lows, so that's good. Some people can get to 40, 30 even, and that's where, yeah, so they can really benefit from compression when you're that low.
Yes.
And so,
but also,
but they're still seeing the effect.
I
Yeah.
noticed that wearing athletic compression does really help me even more mild forms.
All right, so I mean, we are seeing that drop immediately on releasing the compression. So here you were laying down, standing with no compression, inflating with compression. Now you're coming back down with, now that you're not squeezing that back up as well. So we're gonna see that where it's kind of
Ooh,
starting.
I'm feeling a headache.
Okay, the
Yep,
flow drop.
I'm fine, but yeah, I'm noticing that for sure. And I
Okay.
was noticing a mild headache from the lights when I was laying down. That's why I think that's why my heart was higher, because that photophobia with the lights.
And you're actually dropping a good amount now, so.
Yeah, my feet and legs are tingling.
Yeah, you're,
Doing
okay, so
all the good symptoms that we know.
you're gonna go ahead and lay back down.
Okay.
We see your heart rate again climbing quite a bit, so go
yeah?
ahead and have a seat.
That
Have a-
great POTS response. Boy,
Actually, yeah, you did have you're potty. You're
did I meet criteria
You
today?
hit criteria today, 90
Wow.
to
Good
120.
job.
At the end of the day, no less.
Yeah, so,
Impressive. 90 to 120.
and your flow drops were definitely worse towards the second half than the first half. So I think that's just from standing for longer, you probably moving for longer. So, just a reminder, you can, on the video description, you're going to see the link to consent into the study and submit your data. If you're here at the Dysautonomia International Conference, come by our booth and you can test ideal compression and then go ahead and try testing your garments, and then you can do a direct comparison at the same time. How do they compare? Yeah, we see Emily recovering quite a bit here.
So happy to join. It's fun. I don't know how fun it was.
But she's feeling better now probably. But thank you for joining, Emily, and for being a gracious model, and Clayton as well. All right. Well, that's it for Lumia Lab Live. See you next time. Thanks, everybody.